Hi parents, carers and pupils in S2. You're about to make important choices to what subjects you pick for S3 and really thinking beyond, looking to the future of what you aspire to be as you move up through school and beyond. Okay, so I'm here with Mr. Barnes and we're going to talk to you through the process of picking subjects for your S3 and really the support that's in place to help you on the way. Everything we do in Allo Academy is based on our values of respect, ambition, resilience, which you guys have all been part of choosing as our values. Really important that this is reflected within our curriculum as we move through school. Mr. Barnes, over to you.
Okay, so as Mr. Bruce said, we are going to be going through a whole load of different things. We'll try and be as clear as we can. Normally we do this face to face, but that's not possible. So really, one of the most important things that I always talk about here is we really want you to think on not just what you're doing next year, but 2 years. And we talk about that with all options, whether it be somebody in 3rd, 4th, 5th, or whatever year they're in. So think on 2 years. Think on, I want to do these subjects, not just in 3rd year, but these are subjects that I would really be interested in continuing into 4th year, because 3rd year is really about us preparing you the best you can for your national courses. So 3rd year, you'll do a number of subjects, which we'll cover later, and then you'll re-choose for 4th year the subjects you want to do in that second of the 2-year pathway that we're talking about.
Okay, so looking ahead at the choices that you make, the first point there is a review of the broad general education, which really lasts in secondary from 1st year to 3rd year. And what we've done previously is we've asked pupils and parents and staff about what that experience was like. And we've took that feedback and we've adapted the model so that at the end of S2, pupils now get choice of subjects that they pick in S3. And we've seen real benefits to this over the last 2 years. What we've seen is increased attainment, improved attainment for pupils, but also really importantly, they're really enjoying this because they're picking subjects that motivate them, engage them, and that they really see as helping them in their future further up school and beyond. So real benefits of that review, which is leading to improvement. The maintaining of a pace. So we see that this change in 3rd year, where pupils pick subjects, it means that they're more motivated in their subjects to do well because they have had that choice. And that's really picking up the pace towards as Mr. Barnes described there, the challenges of S4 and national qualifications. Because we have choice, they're going to be in their subjects that they pick more than they will have been in S1 and 2. So they'll spend more time in subjects they pick. So there's greater depth and challenge for that. As every year in high school goes up, just like in primary, it gets more challenging. And what you'll see as the pupils move into S3, increased demands on homework, increased demands and expectations in school as they grow up. But pupils respond to that. That's a healthy thing. Pupils will have a different timetable, which we will issue to them once they've made their choices, which will show clearly the times of the day that they'll have each subject. And really, it's all gearing up to really make sure that they're really prepared to make a success of their S4, when that would be the 1st year that they get qualifications to either go to college, but hopefully they would stay on for S5 and 6 and do really well in Allo Academy.
Okay, so what does a timetable look like? Mr. Bruce was saying there you'll get a timetable which will show clearly when you get the subjects, but what subjects will you get? Basically, everyone will do English and maths, that's core within our curriculum. And then what everyone will do is they will pick, say, one of the social subjects, one of the sciences, one of the technologies. So we're working in creative and aesthetic. So we're working very much on curricular basis. So we work from those areas, and then you also get to pick another 2. So you could do essentially 2 sciences, and you could do 2 technologies, and you can mix and match them as you would so desire. We can see there that you get 3 periods of each of those. And then you get PE, RE and PSE. PE, we're preparing you again for S4, where we really like to present all of our young people for a PE qualification, whether that be a national qualification or a health and wellbeing qualification. So we've got down to PSE. I think the last one there will be, if you could click on for me, the skills and then the total number of periods in the week is 32.
There is a very small group of pupils that might not manage that on their timetable, and that's absolutely fine. So there's a number of pupils that we would create a bespoke timetable for within ASN, and they would be dipping into subjects again that they have picked here. But we would link with the individuals, because by third year, of course, we really know the pupils well. We're moving into third year, and we get a timetable is best suited for you. So making choices, really important. It's really important that pupils and parents and carers take time to think about this and take advice. There's no, hard and fast rule to this. It's listening to lots of opinions, and the most important one, that being of the child making the choices. But so where are you going to get advice? I think speaking to the subject teachers and the principal teacher of that department is important for the child. And I would hope that can continue even through remote working at the moment, that there's discussions with the class teachers about how your child is doing and what is the pathway that they see would be suitable for them. So listening to what careers maybe that a certain subject might go into as it goes up through school, and different pathways, the teachers would be able to offer that advice. House group leaders, so pupils have a contact in the morning with their house group leader. They will have formed a relationship from previous years. That's a good port of call to speak to them about their opinion and maybe listen to how they went through school and some of the experiences they had. Principal teachers or pupil support. So the guidance team are absolutely key to this. They are the people that are going to be in most contact with you around the discussion of course choice. And they'll be offering advice related to careers, pathways in school, and of course, listening to you, what's going well in school, what you're maybe achieving well in and enjoying, all come into the mix. We've got a depute attached to each year group, which will be offering support. And of course, SDS, which is Skills Development Scotland staff, is careers advice staff. They're going to be there on hand to support you should you wish that. Parents, carers, family members can really help shape this as well and offer advice of their experiences in school and maybe things that they've picked at school that have led to careers as well. So a real team effort and taking our time to get the choices right.
Okay, so as I've said before, if we make sure we think about the 2-year plan for each of the young people who are making these choices, think about the skills that are developed in each course. We think about the subject and we tend to sometimes get bogged down in what the subject is, but skills are reaching across the subjects. And think about the skills that you're good at or your young person is good at and what skills would be required for that subject. Because these are the things that are going to be developed as the 1 or 2 years progress. So really think carefully about what you're like or what the young person's like. What are they good at? Not as far as a subject label, but what kind of things are they good at? What are their skills? What are their qualities? And how could we then tap into that to develop them to make sure that they will achieve the best that is going to be possible for them? And as I said there just now, what do you enjoy? It's really important. We want this school to be a place that is enjoyable, it's fun, and learning should be fun when we're expanding our knowledge. So think about what you enjoy, because if you enjoy something, again, we know young people very well. If they're in something that they enjoy, they will put much more effort into it as time progresses and time goes on. So think about the plan, 2-year plan, but think further. If you know about what you would like to have as a career, and it's highly unlikely that a number of you will, because you're just going into 3rd year. You're young in your school and your lifelong experience. So don't worry about this one. If you don't know, it is absolutely fine. But if you do have an inkling, think about it, research it. When you're online at home doing your online learning, take that as a task. Go on and find out about it, that career. What kind of things should you be studying? So get the resources for that and think about it. Turn your mind to it if you've not already done so.
I think it's important to sort of get away with some myths of some subjects are really academic, and for those who are really academic, that's not what this school's about. The subjects that are available there will be available for all pupils to select, because we'll find a level for you in that subject, and that's really important that each department are open, open their arms to all the pupils that pick the subjects. Okay, if I can knock this on.
I'll maybe just explain this one as well, Mr. Bruce. This is the actual option form. So we will get these out to you, probably electronically. However, just to explain it, there is a little explanation as to what we recommend and how the form works up in the top left there. Personal details, top right. And then core curriculum, as I've mentioned, everyone studies English, Maths, PE, and then PSE and RE as well. So these are all automatically included in the choice. Then what we do is we get you to pick one from science, one from social, one from technologies, and one from creative and aesthetic. So one each of those, that's the 4 from a previous slide. And then if you would like to study a modern language, at the moment it's not mandatory, but if you would like to study French or German, then we've got that there. The next part on the boxes here is where you get your free choice. So in here you can put any subject from this list that you've not already selected as number 1, and then number 2. Now these are as in priority, so number 2 would be any from here you've not already picked, and then I would ask if you could put a reserve in as well. Just when you're compiling it all, sometimes things don't fit perfectly, so if you could put a reserve. A wee checklist, just have a read over that, see have I done everything that's needed, and then the signatures and dates down here.
Okay, just a slide on availability of courses. We have a real broad curriculum, and it's important that pupils get a real flavour of all the subjects in the school, especially through their BGE, the Broad General Education, ACE1 to 3. When they start making choices, we have to look at the amount of pupils picking a certain subject and the amount of staff that we can help deliver that subject. So there is a demand in certain areas, and we do our utmost to make sure pupils get choices that help them on their future career. If there is an issue of maybe there's too much demand in one area, too many pupils picking one subject for the staff we have available, of course we would be in discussion with you. We tend to get this right. We tend to be really good at supporting you into your subjects, but there is an occasion at times we have to come to a compromise and speak to the pupils and the parents about what that looks like. Okay. The combination of subjects that we have that are available, do you want to touch on that bit?
Yeah, I mean, really that is down to advice from pupil support primarily, because they're very well versed in what are good combinations of subjects. And it goes back to if you kind of have an idea of what you would want to do in 4th year, or what you would want to do even as a career when you leave the school here. So it could be if you come and say, I want to do this kind of thing, then our pupil support staff are really well, versed in saying, well, these would be good combinations of subjects for you. But equally, it could be that these combinations of subjects don't work out when we compile a timetable. So there's the good side of it, getting all the choice, but there's the not so good side of it where it can be restrictive. And that's really just what that is.
And the guidelines from Manager Council. Just meeting the demands from all these courses to make sure your pupils get enough time in their literacy, in their numeracy, in their health and well-being. We make sure that we meet these guidelines nationally and both locally to get the best offer for your child as they go through school. I've already touched on the last point of oversubscribed classes. Let's hope that it doesn't get to that, and if it does get to that in a certain area, of course we would be in discussion and make sure we come to a compromise that works for both. Okay, some important dates going ahead.
Yeah, these are obviously very much up in the air at the moment as we stand here on Friday the 8th. We are looking at working with as many of the dates as we can. but obviously things may well change as we move forward. So these dates are the dates that we had planned prior to Christmas, with all the different events for all of the options for all of our years. So they are there, but please just be aware that they are very much open to be changed, and please rest assured that if we do have to change any of them, we will give you as much notice as we possibly can. This information evening here is almost certainly going to be online, like we have done previously. The reports will be online in progress as normal. We may not be able to hand out paper ones, so if you're not yet on progress, get on progress through Depute, and if you've got problems with that, please contact us. The options interviews, we're currently discussing that with our pupil support team as to how we're going to facilitate that. Normally, parents, carers could come in, have a sit-down interview with pupil support and the person making the choices, young person. That's unlikely to be possible. However, we're looking at how we can facilitate that, whether it be over a telephone call or Zoom call, but we will again, we'll let you know as soon as we have a plan for that.
And you know, your child, we're looking at your child moving year group, so that's moving from S2 into S3 timetables from May, which should be slightly earlier than other years, but we feel this would give them the best chance to stay really motivated in their learning and get them started on new courses. Okay, and we don't know what school's going to look like in the next coming months, but we're hoping by May that the pupils would be in and about, getting in about their new subjects well before that as well. So that's why that day is there. So we've came to the end of this S2 presentation, picking choices into S3. I hope you found it helpful. The school is open throughout this period. We have pupil support staff on hand, as are we, and you can get in touch with us. So please feel free to phone the school between 9 and 12 for pupil support staff. That would be really helpful, and we can talk through any of this or other matters related to school. But take care, everyone. Thanks.